Dun Dun Krieg.
Dun Krieg! No! That was perfect.
Ooh.
I feel like we
Yeah.
captured the first off. We captured the feeling of this opening of this chapter 66 of One Piece here, man. It starts with the silence and just pure agony from the Creek Pirates. Right? That's what we're getting.
No, and I mean it's a lot of these chapters they don't always have any noise at the front, so we're creatively whipping up what you need to hear to get you in the mood.
Yeah, this is the mood. And you know what? We're very moody guys, and if you're wondering who we are and what you've kind of stumbled onto, we are the Grand Line Tourist Podcast, a chapter by chapter examining or re-examining depending on your relationship to Ichiro Oda's masterpiece, One Piece. So either you're starting from the beginning, like my friend across the interwebs who will introduce himself in a little bit, or you are rereading, like myself, Eric C. Vu, your tour guide here today, here to guide you through all of One Piece. Can
I introduce myself now?
What?
I want to introduce myself.
Oh yeah.
I'm a young person, and I am a tourist. I am Jacob, being led by Eric across the internet there. No, yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited because we are doing chapter 66, the chewed up spear.
Yep. That's what we are. That's what we're doing. Jacob, it's a fine day today. We're gonna have a lot of things to deconstruct in this one episode. I mean, I don't know if we have a lot to deconstruct, but I do have a fun little theme that I'd like to talk to you about. So we're definitely gonna hit that up.
Oh, but before we hit into that theme and before we get into the itinerary for the episode, I have a quick letter report for us all here. A letter report.
Hear ye.
Yes.
Ding, 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 ding.
And it's something we've been discussing a little bit on our own because we, at some point, plan on doing a cooking challenge where we create the fried rice that Sanji gives to Jin, right?
Yes.
And so character names. I got them. They just need to be rattled around a little bit before they come to the forefront of my mind.
Oh, yeah.
But so, no, one of my channels that I frequent on YouTube, not my channel, a channel I like called Binging with Babish, they have an anime section, Anime with Alvin, and he did Sanji's seafood risotto from One Piece, which was an interesting thing to see because, according to the cookbook, which kind listener has loaned the recipe out to us, it's fried rice. So it actually seems like some people debate whether it's fried rice or risotto, and I think this controversy comes from in the anime. I think it maybe looks a little bit more like a risotto. But yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's kind of fun. There'll be a link in the description. And the other thing I just wanted to share is today I'm flying off the hook. I'm untethered, Eric, because the library asked for my volume of One Piece back that has the chapter we're covering today. I have all my notes. I don't have access to a book right in front of me like I usually do. So
they requested it back. Somebody else requesting it.
Yeah, someone else. Yeah, probably because of the success of
our podcast. Single-handedly, we are reviving the checkout, the One Piece checkout from the beginning out, man.
I think I'm gonna go to the library and demand some statistics, and I'm gonna look at the dates and see like if they correlate with when we release certain episodes.
I don't know how we have not discussed this. You know what you should do is you should put like a little flyer or link to our show in the volumes that you rent.
When I return them, just have a
when
bookmark
you return them, so they have like a fun little. Just pretend like it's a bookmark or something. I don't know if they do anything or put it right behind the.
No. If you flip through the pages and just stuff a bookmark in there, no one looks and takes that out.
You don't think so? You don't think they like shake it? I feel like that's probably one of the librarian's duties is to take the return book.
What do you think? They look for drugs in the books that are being returned or something?
Weirder people have done weirder things to books. You know this is true.
We need to make sure our children don't get anthraxed via those books that people are returning. Okay, well, I'll do my darndest to hide it in there and make it really small.
This is kind of like I really like. Have you ever seen that old movie Serendipity with John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale? The whole premise of that movie is like it's about serendipity, right? So this could be like a serendipity thing where you do this in the area that you live in your city, and then if somebody ever finds it, they need to write in and they have to tell us that they found your little serendipitous moment.
Yeah, no, Maybe I'll have to make like a special. I'll have to explain a little bit on the note what they got to do. I say you got to listen to an episode and then you gotta write in for sure, even if you don't go beyond that.
Here's a QR code that leads to our podcast or our group.
Oh goodness, yeah, I know. Like you know what? Yeah, they're probably more likely to do a QR code. I mean, Grand Line Tourist alone is easy enough to find it, but yeah, QR code would set the tone right there.
Yeah,
you get a QR code in a book that says it's a auxiliary content to the thing that you're reading.
Yeah,
this is too deep. I really like
come
this.
deconstruct this chapter with Jacob and Eric at and then QR code, dude.
No, I think I see no reason not to do this. It is not particularly hard to implement, and now I think I'm gonna like reserve all the volumes again just so I can stuff them in. I'm gonna go to the library with my QR codes. I'll like slip it into volume.
You know,
1,
I'll do
volume
this
2,
too.
volume
If you
3.
end up doing that, let me know. If you have like if we can make some sort of document, I'll do it on my end. So we hit both cities at the same time. This is guerrilla marketing.
If everyone lives
guys.
in California, SoCal, start reserving, manga because you might get a little QR code.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so cute. I wonder if we can even. I doubt that. No, I doubt that libraries would be cool with us asking.
Leave them there?
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how far.
I think it depends on the library. I don't think they care. I think it's also not common that I've taken some of the bookmarks and stuff from the front desk of the library. I think it's too specific though. Those front desk things are for like library programs, not for like. There's a place somewhere in the library we could put them, and they probably wouldn't hate us, but they give us a weird look. They give us a weird look. Well, you know what? I think that's enough rambling about crazy stuff we're gonna do with the podcast involving QR codes and anthrax. One of those things anyway. Why don't you lead us? Tell me what's really going on today, Eric. Guide me through as a tour guide is supposed to, as opposed to distracting me.
I will read out today's itinerary for Chapter 66, The Chewed Up Spear. We open in silence as the impact of Luffy's hit shatters Don Krieg's armor in the middle of the sky. Various Krieg pirates react to Luffy's winning, but Krieg is not done as he wakes up. He has one more trick up his sleeve, one more weapon to use, and it's a giant fish net that he hides. We're not guessing where he hides these things anymore. He's essentially cartoon logic of where he hides his weapon. He throws the net out at Luffy, trapping Luffy in this fish net, with the idea of tossing Luffy into the ocean in the net so he can't even... I mean, Luffy wasn't going to live through the ocean anyways.
Yeah, he's not going to swim anyway, but...
Yeah, now he's not
totally...
and do anything to be able to get himself out. Luffy decides that, hey, I'm not losing this fight either. If I could just get my legs and my feet, my legs and my arms out, I can still win this fight. Which he does. He pops it out of the net, and he twists his legs around in a spiral, and then lands his feet onto Krieg's face, putting Krieg's face in between his feet, doing the most violent move that Jacob has ever seen in the span of One Piece. Is about to come out here. I'm getting a little ahead of myself.
Okay.
Yeah,
No
so
worries.
he puts his feet, he twists his feet, and he makes a gigantic string of his legs onto Krieg's face, putting his feet between Krieg's face and all that good stuff. Krieg yells out to his pirates, "Yo, kill this guy! Kill this guy!" And again, all these people in One Piece are just very good, just very, very good treaders, because they all were able to pull out their crossbows while treading.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah,
they've been treading for a long time.
They're treading a long time.
Moly.
They're like, we don't need our hands to tread. We can aim and tread at the same time. So they go ahead and do that. But Sanji goes in their way, and Sanji starts beating up. And Sanji warns them if they shoot, he's gonna kill all of them. He will destroy them right now. So there is no last shots coming out for the Krieg pirates against them. I lost myself here a little bit. We finally get the payoff of what Luffy is trying to do, and it is a gum giant gavel, which is, if you guys remember, he pulls that move on Richie, way back in the buggy.
Did he call it a giant? It wasn't giant gavel back then.
It wasn't
just
giant.
Gavel?
This one's giant because it's his leg, and like the sheer
quadruple G.
Yeah, the sheer coming down is nuts. So he giant gavels Krieg onto the Baratier fin, but while doing that, Luffy is now falling into the ocean because he's now way far away from saving himself. He decided that victory is bigger over his safety at this moment. During this time, we finally see that this is for sure Luffy's victory, because, come on, Krieg's not.
I don't know.
Yeah, Krieg's not winning after this. But during that time, Zeph and Sanji have a conversation about grit again, about Luffy's grit, and Zeph has that really cool line about if this ragtag group of Armada is military might and Krieg's weapons and all this stuff is military might, then for sure Luffy's grit is military might also.
Ooh.
And then he says to Sanji, like, you can't look at this boy and not be inspired by his grit. But I know of somebody right now who's just chewing on the spear of his own grit, not wanting to do anything. And then,
who could that be, Sanji?
Yeah, and like a cool dad who smokes way too many cigarettes. At the end, he goes, "You better go haul that boy up, because he's gonna drown like an anchor. And Sanji does, and he jumps in and saves him and pulls Luffy out. And then at the same time we cut back to Carne and Patty with Jin up top, and Carne and Patty are like, look Jin, he lost and all this stuff. And Jin stands up, and they're like, don't stand up, you're still poisoned, you're gonna get more hurt. And they're like, is that how poison works? We don't know the rules of the poison we're trying to save you from. But Jin's getting up for the one reason that he's going out there because Krieg, in his like blind, I don't know, willpower at this point, is standing up screaming that he is the strongest in the world. He's never lost before. He's going to be the man. And he's just kind of reacting. He's having this last like death curl or death rattle, essentially. You know what I mean?
Death curl? What's a death curl? Is that where you go into the corner of your room and you go, okay,
I don't know.
This is it for
I
me.
think I was thinking of death rattle and I just gave it the wrong word.
Whoa, wait, okay. A death rattle, that's the thing that they put on coffins to know whether it's alive?
I'm thinking, what do they call it in Hearthstone?
They do call it death rattle.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm doing my time.
No, and okay, just quick put in through my brain here. I think that might be referring to the bell you put on a coffin so that like the person can ring it if they actually are alive.
Oh.
Not sure. We'll look up the origin of death rattle for another episode. But,
yeah, but that's essentially what Krieg does here, right? Like he's like reacting and he's just screaming. He's screaming. Yeah. He stands back up. He's screaming, but he's lost. Like there's the other tiny Krieg pirates can't get him to stop. So Jin goes
ringing that bell.
Yeah.
Come at me.
Yeah,
Come at
and then Jin does. Jin comes at him by punching him in the stomach and knocking him the F out this time, reminding Krieg, saying very plainly, like, we've lost. It's time for us to go back and just start from zero. Sanji comes back out. Sanji and Krieg have this kind of moment where Sanji says, where Jin says
Sanji
to Sanji,
Jin.
Yeah, that, thank you for your kindness, Sanji. And Sanji goes, no problem. Don't ever come back.
Yeah, don't come back. Oh, wow. Yeah, restarting from zero with honor. Very interesting idea. Very interesting way.
Now, before we get too deep in there, I think there's something else we have to talk about.
Yeah.
Right? This just it.
Cover story. Buggy's crew after the battle, part 21. An unhappy reunion. Yep. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, very disappointing. It still says Buggy's crew. I will never get over that, but I guess, Richie.
Can I just say that they're not even, these two though, they're not, this is them getting hurt from Richie, is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, there's not them getting hurt from what we saw the last time we saw the cover.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is just them
Interesting.
Yeah.
No, I didn't quite put that together in my head, because I guess so, what we're seeing here is we're seeing unknown, partner lady of Buggy and right. Buggy, Chibi Buggy, nice and small, looking at the bodies of Kobahi and
Mohi.
Yeah. On the ground, which would have been just after they lost the fight with Richie, I guess, in order to try to be captain. And so I guess Richie's already gone off. So Luffy, I had it confused. Buggy is actually not seeing the whole crew. He's just seeing the two members that have gotten knocked out.
I think they're still on the same island, but I think Richie and them are somewhere else.
Gotcha. No, I think in my mind, it's all Buggy's crew again, and it's all them two, and just assumed that they were all back together. And I actually thought this was after their fight with the natives that they must have lost. But no. This is from the fight earlier.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's happening in simultaneous action now. I think there's
there's different characters in different places, and I didn't quite put that together. So thank you.
My favorite detail though, you can see
his
little shrine in the back. You see that little Buggy shrine? Is what that's what they're looking at.
Yeah, he's kind of come across his own grave, hasn't he?
Yeah, it's great. Fun little details.
Wait, are there pieces of Buggy buried there? No.
They have. I'm pretty sure they. I don't know where. Remember, they have the little bundle of his limbs tied somewhere.
Yeah. Is Buggy gonna get big again? Is Buggy gonna unchibify?
I don't know. Oh man, but Chibi Buggy's the best Buggy.
It is a pretty cool Buggy. It's fun to see his mouth be as tall as his body as it is in this panel.
Yeah, man.
Very cool. So that's our cover
story. We're going straight through it, obviously, right? Like it's happening. We're back in it. We took a break and now we're back at the cover stories, which is awesome.
Indeed.
All right. Let's talk about the chapter. Overall thoughts, Jacob?
I liked the fight. One thing that talking about Krieg and Luffy got me thinking of, which I just want to run by you as a fun little idea. Gum Gum Giant Gavel Go Gadget? Like, is Go Gadget like completely rip off of One Piece? Like saying something
I feel
to
like Inspector Gadget must be older, right?
could be. I'm not sure. I don't know. All I know is the Inspector Gadget movies. I didn't know if there was like some
83.
83. Okay, so maybe.
So I do
time,
think,
I can't remember.
but like,
No, because One Piece is a little later. One Piece is like 93.
90, but they all kind of like influence each other, right? Like Western animation
Yeah.
really influenced Japanese animation, and eventually like it started crossing over, Japanese animation influencing Western.
Gotcha.
So I definitely think like back in the old days, this is very obviously like it has to be a technique of just kind of like just name the move.
Yeah.
It does add some oomph to everything. It makes
Yeah.
everything feel
Well,
more
it kind of gives you, actually, it's something that because we've been talking a lot about fighting games. This will kind of be like a fun little tie-in there.
Yeah.
It gives you anticipation. So like this is something when you're playing a fighting game, what's really important is that you can, as a player playing against somebody else, you can tell when a move is coming because there's some sort of something that happens before it. There's some sort of wind up, or there's certain positions that a character is in that allows them to like, okay, I know this attack's going to come next, and it has some number of frames of animation that let me know that like, okay, this is where I can do a different move, try to block it or something. So, in a slightly different way, as opposed to like blocking it here, it lets our minds anticipate and prepare for the action we're going to see in the coming next panels. So that's kind of a cool thing about these gums.
Talking about the setup of the move, did you kind of guess what he was gonna do when he did it? When he started doing it?
I actually didn't know. It
Right?
was. I think
Like-
the body shape that Luffy developed between himself and Krieg
Isn't
was
it super
so
creative?
odd that I didn't know what was gonna happen. Like I thought maybe they're just both going to the bottom of the ocean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't sure. I thought maybe Luffy's just gonna go brutal and like snap the neck of Krieg really fast.
Oh
like,
yeah, I mean that was the other
no.
possibility, right? Like,
I've been in because this is One Piece. I didn't think that would result in like a Krieg death, but I thought it might result in like a Krieg KO, right? Like, okay, he has a really bad crick neck and he can't move for a little while or something.
hey, it's fair, man.
Or
I had one this week and it was tough.
Yeah, see, no, we know what's rough. Like what we're going through in our lives, sitting in front of computers, doing all sorts of work and whatnot. It's maybe even more impressive than what Luffy and Krieg are going through here, I might say. I mean, not to talk about our heroic exploits in our lives too much,
Yeah, but I love the idea. I love the momentum of the whole thing. And then this kind of leads, because we're talking about the fight, it kind of leads to the overall theme of this, which is again a measure of grit, right? Like we're talking about Luffy's tenacity to fight, and also let's get a little hats off to Krieg too, because we thought Krieg was done in the last chapter, and Krieg's not, right? Like he was back in it.
Krieg is a fighter.
Yeah, dude, he definitely put up a fight. It's just it wasn't enough. It was never gonna be enough. But a lot of this theme, and I'm gonna call this section, or big section here, Sanji's chewed up spear.
Okay. Very good, very good.
Because that's what it is. That's what Zeph says to Sanji as he's leaving, right? Because there's this giant metaphor about spear as a metaphor and all that stuff. And throughout this fight, throughout this last chapter, there's a lot of back and forth of people going, "Wow, how come this kid won't stop? How come Luffy won't stop? Why is he still fighting? Why is there so much tenacity there and all this stuff?" Right? This is a big one about willpower and chasing your dreams and pursuing your specific want, right?
Yeah.
So, how does that tie into a spear? Is what I was trying to do. You know what I mean? Like, how does this tie into a spear? So, I wrote down, a spear is a weapon that points, and it's a very literal representation of a person's will. Like, it points to you what you want to go. It points to what you're trying to take it to, right? You only point a spear at, one, someone trying to stop you from getting what you want, or two, like, or pushing you or pursuing you to what you want to go get.
Yeah, no, like I think a common image that makes a little more sense, like someone could point with a sword and say, "I'm going that way," but like a spear just looks like an arrow. It's like the weapon that most embodies a direction, I'd say.
Yeah, and so we've had a few spears in this arc, but the big one that I want to say, we've only had one actually, but we had a metaphor. But the one spear that we did physically.
Eric, are you starting to think metaphors are real things? Metaphors, they don't exist. You know this, right?
About? They're all real.
There's rocks in my stomach, Jacob. That's when I feel like I have a stomach ache. There's literal rocks in my stomach.
I poop out pebbles, baby, but they come out diamonds.
God. Oh no.
The one spear that we did see was Krieg's spear. And Jacob, what does Luffy do to Krieg's spear?
Oh my goodness. Krieg has had such a variety of weapons And I'm thinking, did his spear look weird?
It did.
It
also blew up.
Oh,
Well,
okay. That's why I'm so confused. Yes. Because you said spear, and I was like, wait, did we actually have any spear? Yeah. We had the spear that causes explosions. And say your question one more time. What was the question about the spear? What does Luffy do to the spear? Well, Luffy, he takes the hit, right? Because he's running up towards it, and then...
No, you're thinking about the end of that fight. I'm asking you what he did physically to that spear.
What he did physically to the spear? Give me a little jog of memory here, because
What
like,
did he
I'm
do to the
remembering
tip
the end
of
of
the
the
spear?
fight. Oh! To the tip of the spear. Yes. He blunts it, but how does he do it? Does he bite it? He bites it. No.
Yeah, he breaks it. Is what I'm trying to get you to say.
He breaks it. Yeah. No. I felt like, man, this fight has been so long and so much has gone on. But like, how did he break it? Because there was something interesting about the way he did it.
He said he punched it 3 times.
Oh, that was why. Okay, the interesting thing about the spear fight that it's all coming back to me now is it broke in a weird way for us as readers because we kind of didn't see all the punches,
right.
And then we kind of heard Luffy say, "I punched it a lot of times," and the spear finally breaks, and then the spear can't do. Oh, and then that's why the spear then it can still explode. It was always exploding. Okay, sorry. No,
right.
this weapon breaks my brain a little bit, but now I got it. It's all in my head again.
All right.
And hopefully all in the listeners' heads out there. Eric's like, oh my gosh, never asking Jacob a question.
I didn't realize the question was
going
to be so involved. Yes. But the point I'm trying to make is that if we're going to stick with this metaphor that a spear is kind of like it points to your desire, it points to your willpower, or like what your grit is essentially, right? Then Luffy breaking his spear is Luffy breaking his grit. Now, if Sanji is chewing on the end of his spear, then Luffy's not going to break that spear. Luffy's going to polish it. Luffy's going to sharpen it. That's what Luffy's going to do for Sanji. He's going to sharpen this spear because just by existing, Luffy is reminding Sanji of his want and his dream. And, in some cases, his grit. As Zeph has pointed out. Zeph is pointing out in this chapter that I know another person with a spear of grit that if he ever wanted to use it, can use it, but he's just chewing at the end of it.
Okay. Yeah. And so, like, the chewing at the end of it, is that, like... That's somebody wasting their time with their spear, or is that
that's
somebody
not using the spear for its duty, not using it to its full capacity, right? He's just chewing at it. Yeah.
No, and another thought you gave me there about Krieg's spear is like Krieg actually doesn't have a lot. Krieg's using his spear all the time, right? He's just like, well, I mean, he took it out for the big guns for Luffy, right?
Yeah.
But it's almost like Krieg has a desire and a direction he wants to point into, but it's actually kind of like not the ideal spear, you know?
Yeah.
It doesn't serve him well in the end, right? Luffy destroys it. So we have Luffy destroying one spear and Luffy inspiring another to be less, to be utilized more effectively.
Yeah, to be sharpened and everything. Yeah, that's what I was trying to like deconstruct in this one because it was enough for him to title the thing the chewed up spear, right?
Yeah.
So it makes you like I really had to deconstruct that a little bit just to kind of figure it out. I think that's where he's going with it. That's what I'm feeling. At least that's what I pulled from it because we only saw one spear, which is Krieg's spear that he ended up destroying. Yeah.
No. Vamp for 1 second because I'm gonna try to bring up live on the podcast. I did not have time to go through the translations. I just want to see if there's a different translation title for this particular chapter.
Yeah,
just to see how it compares. So we have we have the spear is stifled. So it's basically the same sort of idea, but less metaphorical.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun to picture Sanji biting on his spear. This kind of it's I actually kind of like that translation, not necessarily more. It's kind of a fun imagery though. Kind of keeps it makes the metaphor a little more visceral, because like, oh goodness, why are you biting on a spear? That's stupid, right? As opposed to a spear is stifled, you might miss it. So just little instant translation there, and back out of the corner.
Yeah, and it's also great to kind of see Sanji think about. It's cool. I'm looking at the chapter right now too as we were talking. It's cool for him to think about Zoro again too. We're tying all the themes together. He's really trying to tie up this theme of like, Sanji, you need to do something. Like you need to go. So it's cool to reinforce that one more time.
Yeah. No, it is definitely. It's definitely we all. I mean, Sanji is a likable character, right? He's got this pure thing about eating, and then like to see him squander his life when the person he's squandering it for doesn't even want him to be squandering it for him is just. We're trying to burst Sanji out of this, right?
Yeah, trying to get him out of this bubble.
Yeah.
That's all I really wanted to discuss with you. Did you have anything else you want to talk about with it?
No. I think this one it kind of I think we're just finally culminating this fight. We're really. I mean, if we're not in the wind down of this fight, I'll be impressed. If somehow another character pops up and we're in a fight again, I'll be like, oh my gosh, I need a mental breather from all this fighting. But yeah, I think we've gone through plenty. I think we've hit all the interesting bits about our metaphors here. I think one thing I might want to bring up is I did think it was kind of cool and funny that that Jin just kind of comes and gives Krieg a final quick blow that says, hey, you gotta go down eventually.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting dynamic of respect that Jin has for Krieg that allows him to do that, right? To just it's when you see your friend doing something stupid and you're gonna have to really kind of hurt them to stop them.
Yeah.
But it needs to be done, and your friend is kind of like, I don't know if Krieg's gonna thank Jin later. Like, he doesn't seem like the kind of guy that would, but this is the kind of thing you would thank your friend for later, to be like, yeah, thanks for not letting me, drag myself to the bottom of the ocean holding on to Luffy just because I was an idiot.
I also love that it's probably because Jin already knows. Jin's like, you went through your arsenal, man. You have nothing left to fight with.
And Krieg's like, no. I never showed you what's underneath my tank top or my shirt. There's 10 more weapons.
Nah, bruh. And also, he did mention his colossal strength. So maybe that was an aspect of Krieg that I didn't even interpret, which is like, he's probably very strong. I mean, we knew that because they made a big point about his spear being very heavy. So he's just like a big human. It feels like, huh? Just a big, muscular person in this world. It looks like.
No, true. Yeah, even once you get rid of all the armor, which we kind of see for one of the first times in this chapter, still a big dude.
He's a lot bigger.
Definitely
than
less
Jin.
intimidating. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot bigger than Jin. Yeah.
Yeah, Jin's kind of. Yeah, when you see him slung across Jin's back, you're like, how can Jin even hold that guy?
Before we move on to ha-has, if we have any, did you take a look at the SBS where they had like the rankings of the Navy?
Yeah. So in our SBS, our question corner off to Oda here, he talks about the rankings in the military, and yeah, there's a lot of them. I kind of glanced at it. It was fun.
Yeah.
Did you see anything in particular of note there? What did you like about the?
Yes, there's a lot of really cool things about this. 'Cause I didn't realize that he did that for us. But the world government is very interesting all the way at top, and then everything in the bottom. And then it's cool to see where Kobe is in comparison to like Lieutenant Full Body, right?
Yeah. Where is Kobe? I forgot what rank he is.
Kobe will probably end up starting in the bottom.
Yeah,
because Kobe is still and forever will be a chore boy.
No, Kobe.
But yeah, man.
Poor
so it's kind of cool to see that. But do you have any ahas? We can get to this next section. I don't know. If
I think I think we already mentioned one of them, which is like when Sanji went to kind of like stop the pirates from treading in their water and firing on Luffy. He just stands on their faces. Like,
yeah. Again,
literally
even when
faces.
they're knocked out, they're still treading waters.
Yeah, and then you also mentioned the other one. Sure, thank you for your kindness, Jin. But Sanji's like, don't come back.
Yeah.
Don't come back.
Yeah,
like,
he said no problem.
This wasn't.
Now get out.
This wasn't a pleasant experience.
No.
So that's really all I got for Haas. I don't know if I mean by repeating yours, maybe I stole all the ones you had.
No, that was it. I mean, I do love that Jin and Sanji have some sort of respect for each other, right? But it's also like, but also too much has been said. You know what I mean? Like, too much has been said. We're done.
Yeah, their relationship's weird, right?
Yeah.
Like, you nursed me back to health, and then you betrayed me, but then you punched the guy at the end to stop him from, just
but then also Jin
boy.
couldn't kill him. So like this thing, there's a lot of respect there, but it's also like we don't need to see each other ever again.
Very good. Very good. And so, without further ado, panel battle. This is the section of the podcast where Eric and I have, because we're so professional, have already queued up and have ready to go our panels to fling at each other, but we have not looked at either one. But we are ready to look at them. We're ready to examine them and decide which panel is the greatest, which panel evokes the most thematic and exhilarating experience of this chapter.
Yes.
And, we want to encourage everyone out there, all the tour guides and tourists that may be in existence. If you just happen to find a QR code and you're just confused, we want you to write in and participate somehow in the panel battle. Maybe you'll accidentally be confused and just draw a panel and send it in and be like, is this how this works?
Yeah.
That'd be great. We want to see all that stuff.
We do. Yeah, and it's going to be, it's fun. And the way you can do that is grandlinetourist@gmail.com. Just send it in that way, right? Yeah, Jacob.
That's
What was that?
the only
email
way it
address one more
possibly
time?
works. It's okay. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. You know, you're not gonna know what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna just count 1, 2. Grandlinetourist@gmail.com.
Wow, man!
Oh.
You didn't even do the thing. You didn't even do that name of podcast at jraw.com. All
Oh,
right, let's do this thing.
yeah.
You were faster than I today, so yours came first. I'm gonna go ahead and look at yours.
Take it.
Is yours the boom?
No, it's actually the other one, the top right.
I know. I figured.
Oh, I thought you were being serious. That was good. You fooled me.
No, I do like this one. One, because I completely missed it. So this is a really cool one. Everybody shoot at once. We see in the foreground, we see the backs of our Krieg pirates in the water, I think, holding their crossbows, ready to shoot at Luffy and Krieg. But the very cool detail is that all the way in the distance, in silhouettes, we see Luffy's very long legs twisted all the way around, holding Krieg in the face. You can clearly see who's who because Krieg's arms are flapping about, and you can see the legs are coming from the top of the arc. It's coming from the top of his head, leading all the way into what we assume is Luffy's body.
No, I really just, I mean, Oda comes up with such interesting ideas for his fights. Yeah. And then he comes up with interesting spots to place the camera. Like, this is just cool. Yeah. You know? You're looking at, like, are you looking at, like, the setting sun here? No, that is the arc of Luffy's twisted legs that it forms when he's reaching to Krieg's neck. I mean, that's just incredible and kind of beautiful and odd. And these are the ones that I almost want, it'd be fun to like show somebody and be like, what's going on here? And they're never going to be able to tell you if they don't know One Piece. They're just going to be like, I mean, what would you even say?
You wouldn't know what to say.
You would say, I mean, you could probably recognize that Krieg is a silhouette of a man, and you'd be like, oh, and that man has a gigantic neck. It's a giraffe. It's a giraffe, Eric.
Yeah, it's so.
You see those ears coming out of that giraffe on the left?
Yeah.
So, but it's not. It's Luffy taking down Krieg, and that is awesome.
He's gonna. So spinning Krieg while he comes down, that's gonna build up more momentum, right? That's what I pictured in my head, but I never took physics. So
no, I think physically, I want to say you can't. Not sure. There's got to be someone who has got a physics YouTube channel that has analyzed a fight. We should look out for one because it would be fun. I think it's difficult to move things in the air when. No, but he twisted it, so he's got like all this tension built up. That tension's gonna go somewhere. I think you're right. You can get some speed with that.
It was like get some more additional speed. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's also an incredible amount of timing he has also to get down at the same time. So
yeah.
all right. Click on mine.
Oh, look at this. It's actually one of our joke panels right here. We got thank you for your kindness, Sanji, from Jin. And we have, Sanji off to the left saying, sure, don't come back. Sitting next to a very exasperated, just saved Luffy from the water. And I didn't mention what Sanji's doing. Sanji is carrying the massive Krieg just, casually over his shoulder.
Jin's carrying the massive Krieg.
Did I say Sanji?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Sanji's in the panel off to the left. Jin is in the panel on the right, carrying Krieg over his right shoulder. And I'm holding an L in front of my face to make sure I got all this right. And we do. Yeah, we're doing good. And actually, one fun thing for me about this panel that I don't think I mentioned, I like the change in character costume for Sanji as he kind of removes his coat. Kind of has a striped... Looks just looks different. I feel like this is maybe
he's not the only one with the costume change because Jin's is also a different costume too.
Yeah, no, it's
there's a lot of cool parallels in here.
Yeah, I feel like these costume changes are kind of indicative of character change too a little bit. Like, Sanji's, disrobing a little bit. Everyone's kind of casting off some part of themselves and becoming something else. And actually, maybe that bodes well for Krieg. I'm going to put in a tinfoil hat here based off your panel battle saying that Krieg has some development to come. And, looking at our bad guys so far and how they develop, I think Krieg is going to develop not back into a bad guy. I'm going to say Krieg is going to change for the better. Krieg changes for the better just as his armor is destroyed.
All right.
And I'm not going to, because I want my prediction to be possible, I'm not going to say how he changes for the better. I'm not going to be like he becomes a chef or something, but we're going to stop there.
The few points that I really like, there's a lot of cool parallels here, is it's all pointing to Sanji joining Luffy's crew, but right now I'm going to say, both captains are knocked out in this one, but one's losing and one won. And they're both and they're both essentially are carrying or saved their prospective captains. And it's kind of cool. We have this cool little parallel. And then at the same time, we got, the Bratier as the setting, you know, like just they're on the fins, the Bratier too, which is the thing that they were fighting about in the beginning of this.
Yeah, on the fins, you can see the crack that has been caused by all the havoc.
Yeah, dude. It's a lot of cool stuff in one little image. Yeah.
Very good.
I like it.
All right, it's time for us to get out of here, you know?
Yeah, let's go.
We can only be touring for so long, Eric, before I get a little exhausted, okay? I'm not the kind of person that wants my itinerary packed for the whole day. I want a little bit of me time.
That's fair.
Okay.
We need to figure out a noise to get out on then.
It's true. You're telling me I got to do more work to get off the itinerary tour for today?
Oh yeah, man. Okay, why don't we do the noise of I'm just at the last page here. Jin socks Don Krieg in the stomach, and then he goes, wah. So let's do something like that. So I'm going to go ahead and, because I did the reaction for the opening, I'm going to punch you, and you do the...
All right.
The
I get to be the reacting of Krieg to the punch.
Right, here we go.
All right, I'm going to tense my abs and get ready.
Here we go.
I'm going to get a... Who knows? Okay, I'm ready.
We lost.